generation presented to him. I'm a grandpa as of yesterday morning. So I'm in a pretty good mood, pretty good place, pretty very blessed, and thank you for God's blessings on a lot of levels. Talk about an accomplished community leader or whatever you want to be. You can't accomplish anything on your own, can we? No. And one thing people say the city's doing great is because we have a great team. If you work for the city of Gulfport, would you stand up? I think you need to be recognized, and I'm going to call a few of you out in just a second. How about it? Thank you, fellas. You notice Chief Byerstadt out there, you notice the police and the fire, they never sit together. I'm trying to change that. We're not a divided city anymore. But we got to set an example from within, so they're a little tough to bring around. But talk about leaders, Chief Byerstadt, y'all may not know this, but the state fire marshal or insurance commissioner, Mike Cheney, tried to steal him just recently. They wanted him to be the state fire marshal for the state of Mississippi. Did you know that? He just finished a term of office as president of the Fire Chiefs Association, 2 years running. But you know why he didn't go? Because he loves what we got on this coast. He loves living here. He loves what we've created together. Our police force, they are looked to across the state and really across the region as how you do policing, how you engage with your community. But we all understand we're all striving to do better, to make this a better place. And the hard as we try, none of us are perfect. There's only one man who was perfect that walked this earth, right? We strive to be like him. We strive to follow his example. But we recognize there's always work to be done. But the fact of the matter is we're in a great place. We really are. We're so blessed. I talk about people who travel. Let me ask you, how many of y'all like to travel? Okay. And when you travel, you notice what's going on in certain communities, what cities you like, and there's certain attributes that they have, right? There's things that you see that you don't like, too. Well, we do the same thing. We've got Truck Casey here. He pays attention on that level. KRP Shoes here. Let me tell you, these two, if there's an event going on in your community, you can count on them showing up and listening to you. We've got a great council. That's part of the partnership, too, and we work very well together. But they come back and report some of the same things you see. What knocked me out about, I'll use San Diego as an example. They're a huge city, and you think they might not have time for stuff, but the thing that hit me about them was beautification. You come in here and say, man, it's knocked out. They dedicate part of their budget. When I came into office, one of our folks is Public Works. Public Works takes care of the water and the sewer and the streets and all that stuff. Sometimes the things we take for granted. And one of them said, man, I'm tired of y'all. This is the internal guy, like the number 2 guy. He said, y'all got to change how you budget in Gulfport. I said, what do you mean? He said, you put so much money into beautification, but we got so many things to do with our infrastructure. I said, well, look, it's a balance. The fact of the matter is what you do is probably most important than anything else we do, because when visitors come, we're a tourist economy, right? We got a very diversified economy, but tourism is a lot of what we do. And I said, what you do is critical. When that person comes to visit, or in our homes, that sink's got to turn on, that faucet, that toilet's got to flush, and if it doesn't, we're calling you. But if those things ain't right, people can't enjoy what else we have in our community. So you get that right, they do come to see the palm trees, the beautification, the investment we're making. They're about to come see that aquarium. So there's more excitement about that than I ever saw. And in our business, we got a lot of folks saying, oh, it'll never happen. That's a horrible idea. I swear, we are at a crossroads. We are at a renaissance in Gulfport because of the collective support we have for things like that. So it's about that partnership. It's about what we bring together. It's about the amenities that differentiate ourselves. So when people come here, they go back and tell folks what's going on in Gulfport, Mississippi. I don't know about you, but I get sick and tired of people stereotyping us and having a preconceived notion about what Mississippi is like. But what blows me away is what blows them away when they get here, for particularly first-timers. So we're about the business of creating ambassadors every day. Go tell our story. For too long, we've let people tell our story, right? We got a great story to tell. We're pretty good storytellers, too. But the one thing I hear universally from folks who come here, whether it's to visit or to stay, is I had no idea. I said, well, tell me more. I had no idea about the people. Y'all got the most accommodating people in the world. The land hospitality is real. You got fantastic natural resources. You got good food. You got a lot going on, so you're paying attention to the things that matter. We always got work to do, right? But I really do think we're in a fantastic place. People, I think we like who we are. We're always striving to do better and make improvements in many areas. And we're listening to provide services that you need. But let me go back to that aquarium. That is probably the best example of here P3, public-private partnership. Well, this is public-private philanthropic, P4, in that we looked at the city, we looked at this coast. This is a great playground for adults, right? You can do a lot of stuff, you can see shows, you can gamble, you can do whatever you want, but not a lot for families, for the kid component. And we said, what do we need to round out and fill that void from a tourism standpoint? Well, we had Marine Life, which, even though it was an old facility, hundreds of thousands of people went to it every year. So we said, you know, you don't miss what you never had. Well, we had something we knew, and if we put it on steroids, maybe it can be a world-class draw. We're finally seeing it coming out of the ground, and it's kind of exciting, right? We're shooting for the end of this year. I really think it's going to open probably the first quarter of next year. But the key is, it's going to be something that people are going to talk about, want to take their kids to, want to come to time and time again. It is really going to set the standard and raise the bar on what our expectations of, how we present ourselves. But it's not just about one facility, it's about our community as a whole. I hope you know that this is an award-winning city. It's just not accolades that people throw out there, something we created ourselves. But on the national level, we've again striving to create destinations within our destination. We started with Fishbone Alley. We took the downtown district. We wanted it to be very walkable, very user-friendly. Last night after we had that grandbaby, we all went out to eat. I couldn't get in the rack house. Oh. It was packed out on a Wednesday night. How about that? We know it's packed out. Went to the half shell. It was packed out, but we got in. I had my dad with me, so they had to let him eat. They know he eats a lot. So. But it's wonderful to see this type of vibrancy in our city. So we took it upon ourselves, how can we make things better? Because where that alley, if you recall, it smelled bad, it looked bad, it was unsightly. And now it's one of the hottest Instagram sites that we have in the city, really on this Gulf Coast, with kids coming and taking their senior pictures down there, people coming and having events and receptions down there. So that's a great thing. We also believe that if we did something like the aquarium, that it would stimulate new business, new interest in the area. And by golly, it has. Patio 44. Is that a great restaurant? They came and bought a blighted property. Now again, we look at blight, we look at things that won't develop that. That aquarium site was 9 acres of dead zone, overlooking the prettiest spot in Mississippi, that beautiful harbor in Jones Park that we have. And so that's come. Centennial Plaza. We spent how many years trying to get the VA rehabbed? Well, about 2 years ago, we got a new partner. And they have put close to $100 million into that place. And if you hadn't been through it, you need to go check it out. It is beautiful, it is transformed. They got this fountain in the middle that all lit up at night, looks like fire. But they got it going to water, they got the biggest lazy river you're ever gonna see. People say, how much are tickets? It's a hotel room. That's what your ticket is. These developers have made it where they've got, they did the Margaritaville in Biloxi, again, a family-oriented hotel. They did the White House, now they've done Centennial. It's gonna open August 1st, by the way. A lot of excitement there, a lot of new things to come. They're gonna have an annual music festival. We've been needing a music festival that's gonna come back time and again, so that's coming. And they're gonna do the Markham, can you believe it? The Markham Hotel. They're gonna turn her into a Grand Lady again. And we've seen some rehab and demo and stuff, and they're gonna, as soon as they get through open in Centennial, those crews will be back on it. And within the next year or two, we'll have the Markham back online too. I don't know about y'all, but Ken and I, we went to a couple of proms there, maybe a class reunion or two, and we can't tell too many details, but it was a good place to be, and it's gonna be great again. So we've got a lot of folks that are excited about what's happening in Gulfport, and they want to see us grow. The port continues to complete their mission. I work down there as a longshoreman, and it has changed a lot in a good fashion. It is a state-of-the-art facility, too, that hopefully will bring more tax dollars into this state and into this county. And speaking of the county, Ken Jones is one of the best partners we could ever hope to have as a supervisor, and he is really looking out for your interests. We've got, we partner on the splash pads for our kids, so it's good stuff. Speaking of things within the county, Roy Gill is here, and Mitch King. Mitch King didn't put me in detention enough at Harrison Central, but I came out of it okay. But, you know, we have a skirmish every once in a while. People say, why y'all have a difference of opinion? I said, we're supposed to. As public officials, a difference of opinion does not mean there's a declaration of war. We lose sight of that sometimes. We're on the same mission to make this community different. It's okay for us to have a disagreement, but Roy and his folks are a partner with Glen East, and we want to see our kids get the proper education they need. Dr. John Kelly is working with Roy and other districts across the coast trying to start an initiative for doing a dedicated technical training school for trades. Gulfport High has already gone through the academies where you on a track. It doesn't have to be a college track, but you're going to get some skills before you get out. Some of that's in partnership with our junior community colleges. Nobody in the state does that as well as Harrison County or this coast. This coast is blessed again with good educational opportunity, and we are looked to and held out as an example for the rest of the state. So you need to be proud of that. Award-winning, I talked about. Fishbone Alley got the Main Street USA, not just Main Street, Mississippi, the Main Street USA #1 project in the nation 2 years ago. That same year, we got the U.S. Conference of Mayors recognition for one of the City Livability Awards. This year, we got a City Livability Award, 2 years running now, for the area of 34th Street, Brickyard Bayou Park. Y'all seen that. That was the old floodplain that was neglected. Had a beautiful canal running through it. I don't know if you've ever walked that area, but now we got a walking trail. We have a disc golf area. We have a bike path. We have an outdoor classroom. So there's so many things for our community to benefit from. But we looked at this area, it was crime riddled. There are people dumping stuff all the time. We put that dog park in there. Couldn't believe we didn't have a dog park. But it gets used every single day. So again, we're trying to spread things across the city and find areas that have been neglected to make a difference. And by the way, on dumping, I need your help. We're all about beautification. We spend a lot of money keeping this place clean, and I hope it aggravates you when you see somebody throwing something out of their truck or letting it blow out of the back of their truck or just throwing it on the side, even whether it's a cigarette butt or a tire. We got to stop it, but it's going to take all of us to call people out when they do it. It does. So guess what we did? The city said the tires have become really bad. The thing about the tires, there's probably just about a half a dozen really bad offenders, but we can't catch them. You got cameras on your phones. If you see somebody dumping tires, please take a picture or a video and get it to us, because we just increased the fine from $500 to $1,000 per tire. So if we catch them, we're going to make an example out of them, but we need your help doing this type of policing. So if you'll do that, please be aware of that and get it to us. Everybody know what 311 is? Yeah. Okay, 911 is an emergency. 311 when you need the city to take care of something for you, like trash piled up, garbage not picked up, somebody dumping tires. Do that for us and let us know. Now, we just got a new PIO, LaShondra McCarty. How many of y'all know LaShondra? I do. She's energetic. I'm gonna ask her, we do some things in the community as well. How many of y'all take your kids or grandkids to Cinema by the Shore? You been there? You know what we're talking about. In the summertime, we have these free movies. And we get hundreds, if not thousands, of kids to come. And we say, well, let's do this pop-up movie thing around the city. So last month we did one on Dido Road, off of Dido Road on Pretty Circle out there at Golden Park. Showed that. We've got one, LaShondra, what day is it? August 10th. At Black Panther. It's going to be at the Isaiah Fredericks Community Center. Yay! So we're gonna have a pop-up movie for our kids. Bring them out, great family event, good time. So we're trying to change some things. Up in Kara's district, that Sportsplex. Have you been out there lately? Let me tell you, it's dynamite. We spent a lot of your money to expand that thing. And now this week we're having one of the largest fast pitch softball tournaments in the nation. We have hundreds of tournaments every year as a result of the investment in that. We have tens of thousands of kids coming. Guess what they do? Parents come with them. They stay 3 days, 4 days a week, and they eat at our restaurants. They go to the zip line. They go to the water parks. That means they're spending money here. That means they like what we're doing. So we're going to keep on trying to do that and trying to deliver. We're always trying to move and think of new things to do. Some things work out, some do not. The YMCA has expressed an interest in expanding their footprint on the Gulf Coast, and they want to be in Gulfport. Now, it is a multi-million-dollar proposition. We're going to look for some BP monies and other monies. Don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we're going to try. But they want to be up around the I-10 605 corridor up there. But that's going to bring some swimming opportunities to teach our kids how to swim. It's going to be competitive swimming for tournaments, another tournament opportunity for kids to come in. But our schools have said that's a need big time, isn't it, Roy? We got to have it. And so I'm just excited. I'm orange slap out, but I'm excited about what has happened with our city, and I couldn't ask for a better group of residents and leaders to work with. I tell you, I've been blessed to do a lot of things, but this is the most rewarding experience I've ever come across. Somebody told me when I got elected, he said, the mayor of any city in the United States is the best and worst job in America. I think that has a lot to do with the city you get to represent. So for me, it's the best job in America. And I thank you for allowing me to serve. Y'all must have been really hard up for a speaker, but I appreciate you hanging out. But come see us. We've got a fantastic team. Nobody pulls this off by themselves, but we have folks who understand what our mission is, and that is to make the place that you live something you can be proud of. So keep being those ambassadors. Let's tell our stories. If somebody says something that just ain't so, or they only tell part of the story that just ain't right, we can set them straight. Because it's about being proud of where we're from. And we got something that nobody does. We're that secret coast that they're talking about. It's true, it's the best kept secret in America, but people are discovering us. So let's put a good spin on it. And the spin don't mean you telling anything that ain't right. It's just we got so much good to talk about. We really do. Let's keep lifting each other up. Thank you again. God bless, and I'm proud to be serving you.